All right, welcome back, everyone. This week's Picture of the Week is being brought to you by Flowers Deer Processing. Hey, deer season starts not this Saturday, but next Saturday, and Flowers is already ready. Our first picture here, let me show you some of these fine pictures. This is that Joy? That is Joy in a kayak, ladies and gentlemen, on the Duck River. That's right, she's trying to find which way did I have to cast? So that picture, and here is her first cousin, Susan Swink Akers, and she is following behind us in her kayak. She's what? Yeah, that's right. She did crash and burn. She crashed and burned, and I saved her life. So, next picture here we have. This is Crystal Robinson, good friends of ours. She was starting out. She does a lot of kayaking, just kayaking. But her husband and I were back in the background fishing. So we did catch a bunch of smallmouth and largemouth out there. This is the whole gang trying to get launched, and as you can see, we were on some kind of little bank, and we had 14 kayaks and 2 John boats going out. So big crew. There I am trying to go to where we can eat in the shade a lunch. And then I got to show you this one other here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, and I know you're sitting here with a Triton shirt, this is the 2016 model Phoenix 821 that you can see right now with David McMurray and that fine bunch of guys, Eddie Robinson, Scott LaFavors, and all those out there at Nashville Marine. Promise you they are a fine sponsor of this show. We love them. Thank you so much. We're going to show you more and more pictures of the new ones coming out. But you can send them to us here at Southern Woods and Waters, 474 James Robertson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee, 37219, or simply email them to me at Hugh@southernwoodsandwaters.com. We'll get them on there real fast. We appreciate all those. Just want to get you lined out that the 2016s are already out. So guys are selling some of their used boats right now, getting ready for all these newbies coming out.
That's right.
And everybody's excited, and that's
that time
good.
Of year.
It is that time of year. It's that time of year. It is also a great time of year. I want to talk to you about Dunkin Donuts for just a minute. I have 2 new friends here from Boston, Massachusetts, and they own, both of you own some, are franchisees owners for Dunkin Donuts. And am I right in understanding you have 13 stores in this area? But Dunkin Donuts wants to be more involved, and that's what you guys are trying to do, is get more involved with the community and let them know that, you know, you're a fisherman too. You love to fish. Now, you saltwater fish, right, Steve? That's what you love to do more than anything.
I do, because I'm so poorly on the lakes, so I figured I'd stick with the ocean. It's a little bit easier, I think.
Now, Chris is different. Chris loves to hunt. Now, I know that for a fact. So.
Yep, I've got some family up in Maine, and I've actually still got a generation of family members that are lobster fishermen. So
awesome.
They do a little bit of water, we do a little bit of hunting. So.
Well, if they ever have any seconds on those lobsters, send them down. David and I will certainly will do that.
We certainly will do that.
But now, East Coast now, great fishery on the East Coast. The entire East Coast is great. You have king mackerel fishing in South Carolina, Hilton Head, all that, all the way up to Maine. All up in there is great striper fishing, especially up there. And that's where we hear so much about. What does it take to be a striper fisherman up there? When's a great time to go up there and get on the striper? Do you know?
Usually in the fall in the spring is really good when the seasons are changing. Stripers run out near Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, out and around the Cape, and it's usually pretty good fishing out there then.
And I understand those guys do it daytime, nighttime, it doesn't matter. They're trolling for those big striper. And they're catching some monsters, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen the TV shows.
50
I
and
see
60 pounders, you know. And
you ever been on Wicked Tuna?
No.
You should do that. I think I want to be on that show. That would be great.
That would be fun, wouldn't it? What other fish species do y'all go for out there, really?
Well, down south, down in Florida, off the Florida coast, striper fish. I mean, sail fishing.
Yeah.
The sail fishing is really good down there. We went out on a boat, on a charter boat. It was a small charter, just ourselves, and you know, that was probably the most thrilling time fishing that I've ever had. We were out and we had caught, you know, a couple of small sharks we caught, and some smaller fish, and then my buddy was sitting in the chair, and a striper hit. I mean, a sailfish. I keep saying striper. You got me on the striper, you know.
Right.
And it was just absolutely incredible. And we switched the chair around, and I mean, it was a fight for probably about an hour, hour and a half. The fish was about 6 feet and about 80 pounds.
Yeah.
And it was just thrilling watching it just come up out of the water and then go back down into the water. It was just absolutely.
Now that's one that you brought in, right? And you have it at your office.
I do, actually. I do. It's, my wife is, she's not really thrilled about it, but, it's one of those things guys have to do. I had to, put it up on the wall.
Man has to stand his ground sometime, right?
I did, yeah.
It may cost you a week's worth of good meals, but it's worth it.
Maybe a little more than that.
Yeah, see, they're a month. Oh, Lord, we're into it now. But let me, David, they're fighting these fish for an hour and a half, and I just heard, oh my gosh, Gus, they put out a YouTube video where a guy in a kayak caught a grouper, a black grouper was over 400 pounds. It hauled him around for like 4 hours. I mean, what do you do if you were bass fishing and something like that happened? You're only going to get 1 or 2 bites a day, and you're done.
Yeah, I can't even wrap my mind around that. I snatch them and drop them in the bottom of the boat in about 3 seconds. That's usually about the fight.
And everything's about speed and getting that line back out there. But in their case, it's the bringing of the fight. The fight is everything.
Right.
Yeah, and I have to say, bass fishermen are similar. We know the smallmouth are just mean fighters. Largemouth, he's going to fight for a little bit, but then he's going to kind of give it up, a little bit. But a smallmouth never gives up. He's the Michael Iaconelli in the water. He's jumping, jerking, doing everything. He's trying to get trying to make you wear that bait. And then the spotted bass, we have some very mean spotted bass in this area, and they fight just as hard. But the fight is all it's about, really, I think, as far as ocean fishing. Sharks, the bigger the shark, the more fight it is. The marlins, the tuna. We want to go do the wicked tuna thing.
Yeah. I think I could drive around and see them on the hummingbird and just catch them. I just don't think it would be that hard. Yeah.
But I tell you what, it's great. We're blessed here in Tennessee to have so much outdoor activities you can do. Now, I understand you guys are going to be here like 2 weeks out of the month for the winter time. So it's time to get y'all inundated with our hunting seasons here.
Right. We'll be thrilled to, Hugh.
Absolutely.
I mean, we came down about a year ago, purchased the stores in Williamson County. There were 5 stores, and we've bought a house down here, and we're spending a lot of time down here. And we really want to be, acclimated in the community and be good community citizens and be involved with both Chamber of Commerce's and learn about the, the outdoor and, the different sporting things that we can do down here. It's a great place. We love it down here, and we're very happy to be down here.
Well, I tell you what, you got great products. Who says no to a donut? I mean, my goodness, you can't say no. And the timing's right. I mean, I wish they would make the drive-through just a little bit wider so I can get that boat through there. But I would go and to the walk-in and get a dozen donuts and go fishing now. My partners love me for that.
I bet.
But it's a great thing that y'all are doing. I want you to just briefly, can you tell us the story about the kids that came out and did the video for your store?
It was pretty interesting. Chris, you brought you.
Yeah. Well, we actually stumbled upon it through Dunkin Corporate. They actually go through social media each week and find it. And this group of kids, teenagers, are so excited about having a Dunkin Donuts in Brentwood that on their own they put this film together, and it was a great film. Bunch of talented teenagers, and we decided to thank them and to come in with a few of our folks with 20 dozen donuts, and to once again thank them for showing their excitement about our brand, and we donated them $1,000 check.
They could have done that for anybody, but they chose you.
Could have done it for anybody.
That's
and
right. That means a lot.
It was a professional. We were excited about it. As a matter of fact, we had a foundation dinner the other night, and they showed the film to all of our vendors and people. They got basically a standing O. They did such a great job.
That's great.
A lot of excitement.
I love it when kids get involved, don't you, David?
That's right. Well, when your clients are that excited about your product, you got something good.
You got something great to do. I'm telling you. Well, great deal. We're trying to team up. We're going to team up with Dunkin Donuts. We're going to do it in a way that's going to make it exciting for outdoors people. They want to reach the outdoors people. They want the outdoors people to know that they are outdoors people also. So we're going to help them with that. David, you can stand a few donuts.
No, I'm off.
I'm off of
them right now. But y'all are killing me
with
this.
That's just until the break. We know that.
Y'all are killing me with it.
That's just until the break. David, you've been talking about the sexy dog. It's a top water. It's walking what we call walking the dog.
Right.
It's the technique.
Right.
I want to ask you a question because a lot of people go and say, Hugh, you know, I throw it out there. I try to do the walk the dog. I can probably do it 3 or 4 casting in my wrist and all this upper arms starts hurting.
Yep.
Have you got any?
Yeah, absolutely. That is all about equipment. Okay. If you get the right equipment, like I said, I hadn't thrown it in a year. And I went out there and threw it for 4 days and never had any, I mean, my arm didn't get tired. And here's the right equipment. Braided line. Braided line lets you just, the slightest twitch of that rod causes the bait to move. Whereas with mono, there's a lot of absorption of the movement of the rod, and you got to work it harder.
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing is you got to have the right rod. We'll tell you the right rod. An all-pro medium heavy 7-foot cranking rod. It's got just enough tip to where I'm telling you I can take and just barely move that rod and that bait will walk back and forth. And it does take kind of getting a rhythm. I mean, for those of you who have never done this, basically you're working the rod and reeling at the same time and you're causing the bait to, it's called walking the dog, but the bait is just going back and forth.
Side to side.
And a Strike King Sexy Dog has got a bunch of rattles in it. And I mean, you can hear it on the end of your cast going click, click, click. You know, it's drawing those fish up, you know, out of the grass or off of the stumps or whatever. But if you get the right equipment, I promise you it is very, very easy. And that's an all-pro medium heavy cranking rod, and it gets you some, you know, 40-pound, 50-pound braided line. It doesn't have to be that heavy. It's just that braid doesn't have any stretch.
It acts so much better.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I tell you what, we got to go right now, and we're going to get back on that subject, but we got to go right now and do our product of the week. And this week's product of the week is, guess what? Dunkin Donuts. I want to know some secrets to Dunkin Donuts, their success here, Steve. What is your success? I mean, glazed donuts, chocolate covered donuts, we know about those. What do you think is some of your better products that you put out at Dunkin Donuts?
Well, right now, iced coffee line is really taken off. You know, we have our flavored iced coffees, we have our caramel iced coffees, our espresso-based beverages. You know, when we first came to Tennessee, everybody would say that, you know, it's a donut market and not a coffee market. And it's proving to be quite a coffee market. We're very excited about our coffee beverages. The sandwich line is also very popular. Our, you know, right now we have our tailgater sandwich, which is a nice big sandwich, great for being outdoors on the lake, and you know, give you a nice hearty little breakfast to get you going.
In our ice box on our bass boats. We need it at noon.
There you go.
Great locations. The closest one, matter of fact, I have 2 out by my house I wanted to tell you about. And I have 2. One's on Lebanon Road right there in Hermitage. And it's also partnered up with Baskin & Robbins is right there. So it can be up to 8 or 9 o'clock. You can go in there and get ice cream and a donut.
Absolutely.
So you got that place. And then there's one out on Long Hollow Pike that's in North Nashville. So come by and visit us there. Those are great locations. Matter of fact, we put away a dozen donuts, my crew did, today from the Long Hollow store. So, and I didn't know anything about it, Steve. They did it themselves. So they did it, and they said, well, if you're going to talk about it, we're going to eat it. so they went and did that. So great job. Thank you so much to Dunkin Donuts for being on the show and helping us with that. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to open up our phone lines here at 737-7767. You can call us here and talk to us. We're going to talk more about David and some of these techniques he's using for our fall, because we're already transitioning into the fall patterns. So get ready for more Southern Woods and Waters.